the properties of a parallelogram. A parallelogram is one of the quadrilaterals. Now let's look at its properties. One of them is, before I proceed, you should remember this looks like your rectangle, but as you can see, it's a rectangle that's a bit slanted. But let's see. So the first property is that both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Now these parallel lines, as we said with a rectangle, are equal in length. That means line AD is equal to line BC. In the same way, line AB is equal to line DC. Okay. Now, with a rectangle, we said the opposite angles or the interior angles are 90 degrees. But for a parallelogram, they are not 90 degrees. However, we will say this. The opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. That means angle A is equal to angle C. And then angle B for blue is equal to angle D for diamond. Okay, as you can see, these angles are opposite. So only the opposite angles are equal. Now, let's imagine now when we draw diagonals. So the diagonals, they will bisect each other. Now, this is different to the rectangle. With the rectangle, they were equal. This time around, they are not equal, right? But they are bisecting each other. What does that mean? When the diagonals bisect each other, it means each line will have two equal halves. Now, remember I said the lines are not equal in length. Okay? So that means one half of AC is equal to the other half of AC. One half of BD is equal to the other half of BD. Lastly, adjacent angles are supplementary. So the adjacent angles here is, remember, we used to say cocoyal is fun. So look at this. A and C, they can be considered adjacent angles. In the same way, A and B can be considered adjacent angles, right? Why? Because when you say A and D, it's because AD is parallel to BC. When you say A and D, is because AB is parallel to DC. Okay, so these are supplementary, meaning they are 180 degrees.